I've lost count how many times this would make that I've died. It always starts exactly the same. I appear where I first died, with that god-awful radio playing static in the background. I see right through my own eyes, replaying my own death over and over. I wish I could make it stop. I wish I knew why this was happening. But I just won't stop dying. I tried everything I can to stop it. My efforts are always fruitless. No matter how hard I try to change things, it's always the same. I wake up, I get out of bed, and I hear the sound of the radio roaring to life with static. Afterwards, I walk through the house, and as I'm heading to the kitchen, I hear the distinct sound of a gunshot. Then it all goes dark, just to be repeated again. It's both traumatizing and confusing all at once. I'm stuck in this loop, what seems like eternity. Who would be so cruel to make me endure this? What kind of sick monster would trap me like a rat in a cage? Unfortunately, there was no answer in sight. I'm trapped here. God, I don't even know what this is. I don't understand what here even is. All I can find out is that there seems to be no way out. I've started counting how many times I've died so far. I couldn't tell you how long it's been. Seems to be no concept of time here. I can't even think straight enough to calculate the amount of time that's passed. 205 times I've died since I've started counting. Is there truly no end to this? Death number 223. I have to do something. I can't keep going through this. This is worse than dying. Worse than anything imaginable. I'm gonna try to break the loop. Death 225. I'm waking up. I'm gonna turn off that god-awful static coming from the radio. It's off. And all I have to do is... What? That should have worked. I should have been out of this hell. Hell. Maybe that's where I am. The torturous replay of my own death certainly fits the bill. But why? Why this punishment? What could I have possibly done in life that merits this kind of torture? I don't remember much of my life, other than my death, of course. Though I still can't remember who killed me, or why. No. Maybe I'm stuck in a really messed up dream. That's gotta be it, right? I'm waking up again. Walking down the stairs, I realize something is off this time. I didn't hear the radio. I made my way to the kitchen. All was silent for just a moment as I awaited my fate. Then the all too familiar sound of the gun went off, as it always does. There it was. The darkness, followed by radio static. When I came to, I was met with a different sight this time. I was somewhere dark and foreboding. The sky was a deep midnight color, filled with ominous clouds. There was a gigantic metal gate smashed wide open. Bits and pieces were littered on the ground. It was an astonishing sight to see, yet terrifying. I looked up in terror at the top of the humongous gate. My mouth flew wide open. My blood ran cold at the sight before my eyes. There was a body impaled atop the gate. Scariest thing about it was, it appeared to have angelic wings protruding from its back. Looking more closely down at the ground, I realized it was littered with human remains. I fell backwards, covering my mouth, wanting to vomit. Closer to the gate, I could see tiny white feathers all across the ground. Blood stained the dark stone path before me. I stepped over the bodies and headed up the path through the gate. The further I went, the gorier the scene became. Chunks of people and feathers all over the place. I wanted to tear away my eyes from the scene, but I couldn't. Beyond all reason, I wanted to find out what was going on here. Unfortunately, I would. The desecrated grounds of this place seemed to be more of a garden at one point, now reduced to a wasteland of bodies. This can't possibly be what I think it is. Angels? Heaven's gates? This has to be all in my mind. This can't be real. Thinking this brought me no comfort. I didn't know if I was alive or dead or just dreaming at this point. But this all feels too real. Could this truly be heaven? No, I can't think of that. I needed to find a way out. Searching around, found no clues as to where I was or how I even got here. All I found was more bodies, more feathers. Their bodies were twisted in a sick and unusual way. Even the angels. I quivered at the thought of some powerful being responsible for all this damage and death. Buildings taller than any skyscraper were torn apart, and rubble and debris were scattered all across the blood-stained ground. There was seemingly nothing left but this haunting silence in the air. Surely somebody must have survived, right? I thought to myself, hoping I wasn't alone here. But thinking about it, I honestly don't know what would be more terrifying, being all alone here, or somebody was out there, watching me, lurking around me. I shook this thought off and carried on. Going up the main path, I arrived at stairs of considerable size. I've never seen anything like it. They were made of marble, and unlike all the other buildings, they seemed untouched, as well as the building that they led to. I felt a sickening dread as I slowly made a climb up the staircase. Off to the sides, I saw more bodies, impaled, twisted, and broken beyond measure. I made my way to the top and was met with a colossal-sized doorway that was completely open. I hesitantly stepped inside with an echoing footstep and full of fear for what I'd find next.
Hello?
I was suddenly inside a room full of pillars and balconies, with a giant circle carved out into the middle of the room. Above the circle platform was a brightly glowing light illuminating most of the room, leaving only slivers of shadows and dimly lit archways through the pillars. I proceeded through the room and into the next. It was much smaller in comparison. The air in there felt tighter, and it was much darker as well. There wasn't much light to be found. It was more of a circular chamber than a room. There was a straight platform that led to an edge that seemingly dropped off into nothingness. There truly was nothing here to be found. Stepping closer to the edge of the platform, I could faintly make out a message written in blood. God is dead. All is lost.